Paper. Ty.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, my mic was muted there. Anyways, we'll get it kicked off here. Welcome, everybody, to the Ape Well. Today, we're going to be looking through the top 10 NFT projects on OpenSea and choosing whether we would buy them or sell them based on their current prices. We like to call it sweep or sell, as you can see by the graphic here. We record this every Monday at noon Central. Come and hang out with us. If you're in the chat joining us live, definitely make some picks with us and feel free to ask us any NFT, DeFi, crypto-related questions. We're always down to answer them because this is what we do. So I'm Paper Ape. I don't have the AR filter going today. It's not working for me for some reason. But joining me, as always, are my two co-hosts. First, we got Ty. How's it going, Ty?
Hey, GM, I'm doing well, Paper. I knew something was different today without that filter.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're doing it old school today, but this should be fixed by next week. So
Solid.
Hell yeah. And Kaizen missed last week, but he's back from Mexico, so we're definitely glad to have him back, our other co-host. How's it going, Kaizen?
It's going good, man. Happy to be back. Had a great trip to Mexico. Got some good photos, and I'm back settled in. I'm ready to make some picks.
Sir, let's go. But I guess before we get started, we got to do a little moment of silence. We lost a great one of our very own recently. the double army zombie gold grill mutant is no longer with us.
That is hilarious.
Ty,
proper burial.
Do you wanna fill in the people with what you're doing?
You know what? I flipped the Grail mutant with the gold grill. Yep, the general. Adios. It was a long time coming. But no, it was a good offer. Shout out to the homies in the Bored Ape Discord. But it just felt like the right move at the time. Got a couple extra ETH to have fun with and play around in this market and try to make some flips and try to make some sweeps or some sells. You know what I mean? So just being a degen at the end of the day, degen's going to degen. And that's what I'm doing here. So just milking this gold grill here while I log on to new platforms and switch it every time.
Respect. Yeah, Ty's going for the Bored Ape. That's the new goal for this next cycle.
Facts.
So we're gonna follow it and try to see if we can, just document the process. I'd love to see a massive win like that and be able to have something to show for it.
Thanks, brother, man. Yeah, I've had it for about 8 months. It's like I think this is mutant 6. New one is 7, maybe 7 or 8, 6, 5. I don't know, something. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to flip to a Bored Ape if I hold it forever. So, got to make some moves. Got to risk it for the biscuit.
Absolutely. So let's see. Pulling up my screen real quick. I just wanted to talk about this before we really jump into the projects, just because to me this is probably the most important piece of news that's come out today, and that's the United Nations saying that the Fed and other central banks risk pushing the global economy into recession if they keep raising interest rates. So basically, the United Nations is pressuring the Fed to turn on inflation again, is how I'm interpreting this. Have y'all seen this news? And do you guys have any thoughts on it?
No. This is brand new to me. I just pulled an all-nighter, so I'm working off of about no sleep. You can probably tell with the extra deep voice. This is Oklahoma Ty, so I'm full of shenanigans today. But no, I didn't see this. This must be pretty recent though.
It's very recent. It's 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. Well, the Dow is up like 600 today, so maybe they didn't see this either.
Kaizen, did you see this come through?
No, I'm trying to process it right now. I think it's interesting. I just kind of felt like the United Nations would kind of be in alignment with what the governments are trying to do. And wow, that's really interesting that they're kind of pushing the other way. I know that, man, there's a lot of people that have come out, man, I can't think of some of the big guys off the top of my head, but they're saying the same thing. Like, stop with the interest rates. It's gonna definitely 100% cause inflation, but I don't know, man. I don't think anybody knows. Like, they just like moving levers, pushing buttons, and whatever happens, happens. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how they're saying this now. I think they're trying to prepare for the whole energy crisis and stuff that's going on in Europe, just to make sure that they get ahead of it before winter. Because if the people overseas don't have their power when it gets cold, that's going to be a real bad sign for the Europeans. So I think that's probably why the United Nations is getting involved. But yeah, I think that's something to keep an eye on as far as macro for the next few months. Because just because they're urging the Fed to do this doesn't mean the Fed is going to do this. But just the fact that there is push towards actually lowering the interest rates, I think that's, if you're in the market and you're bullish, then that's probably what you want to see. So great thing to keep monitored.
Interesting.
And maybe this is the news that's kind of pushing the market up. Like, I mean, it looks like this tweet was from just a little while ago, but information leaks out. Like, who knows? Who knows if this was something that was kind of known, that the stock market is notorious for having inside information. So I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I kind of expected a bigger pump in the past hour after seeing that news come out. We didn't really get anything in the top 100 in crypto besides Luna Classic is at 1.2% up in the past hour. Honestly, part of me wants to just go in on a meme coin like that whenever things do flip bullish. I don't know. That's just the degen in me. I probably won't.
Did either of you degens hit the Kramer play?
The inverse Kramer ETF?
No, there was like a Kramer coin, shit coin.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Damn, Renga's at 283. Ooh. You take 24 hours off in the NFT space and you will miss generational wealth not once, but twice.
That's very true. Renga's at the top of the top 10 by volume list. So if y'all want to just jump into sweep or sell, we can go ahead and do that. We can talk cross Renga off the list first and get into it.
Yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Kaizen, you missed us last week, but here are the results from last week. We didn't do so hot. I got 5 out of 10 correct, had that PNL of negative 5.04, tied with 4 out of 10, negative 7.94. And then Kaizen, I honestly probably should have given you the number 1 spot, even though you didn't play.
Yeah. You did. You beat both of us.
Yeah, I guess I've won again. Dang.
Sometimes no moves are the best moves.
This man just does not miss, even when he's not here.
That's pretty funny, but I mean, obviously there is a lesson in that, right? Like, sometimes it's best to sit on the sideline, and I didn't do that on purpose, but that's funny how it works out.
Yes, like if you look right here, these are the price changes from the projects we talked about last week. 9 out of 10 of them were in the red. So if you swept, the most that you could have made is 0.05 ETH if you had it perfect. So yeah, it's one of those perfect weeks to be on the sidelines.
Wow.
This actually kind of reminds me, there's another week that we saw. So if 9 out of 10 were red right here. If we go back 3 weeks, 9 out of 10 were red right here also. And then the week following that, there was 7 out of 10 green. So I don't know if you guys want to use that in this week's, how you guess, but that's just going off of the past, how we've seen it before. But there has been a couple weeks in a row where it's 9 out of 10 red. So you never know.
And we'll have
Yeah,
we'll have some of the same projects popping up. It looks like a few new guys in there, but that core five projects, it seem like they're always there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. So like, I did it early. I think most of these should be pretty similar, but we got RENGA, Kitaro World in the top two. I think those are probably what we're gonna end up spending the most time on, because I know Ty, you're a big RENGA guy. Kaizen, you're big on Kitaro. And there's some other interesting ones in there, like QQL, the RENGA Black Box. We've switched the Otherdeeds to where we're talking about Kodas now, because the Otherdeed price floor doesn't move that much. So we've switched other side to Kodas specifically. And yeah, that's what you missed last week, Kaizen.
This is
Yeah.
solid. This is solid. Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is like, I just clicked on Kitaro and they're already at like 0.31 pape. So I'm taking this arbitrage play right now, dude. Make some
Hell
money.
yeah. Well, cool. We'll get it kicked off. If you're watching this live, be sure to play along with us. Let us know in the chat whether you would sweep or sell these projects, and bonus points if you tell us why. So we'll get this kicked off with our number one collection today, and that's going to be RENGA, sitting at 2.8 floor price.
Wow.
Ty, let's start with you, because I know you love RENGA. What attracts you to this collection?
I mean, just the art and the vibes. I don't think it needs to go too much more than that. Super dope art, super dope vibes, notable artist. The project, I feel like I've spoke about this in the past, doesn't seem to be like your typical trait breakdown. There's a couple different categories or archetypes of characters, and the rarities within each, there's a lot of traits. So some by default are just rare, which typically doesn't work well for like an NFT project, I think. But when the art's this good and the vibes are this immaculate, it's hard to fade. So yeah, Renga's killing it. I am the degen who sold everything too early for barely any profit, and I'm on the sidelines now, but I'm chilling, I'm having a good time, and I'm sweeping because I think it's still going up.
Cool. I like it. It seems like a lot of people are collecting PFPs based on the artists behind them now, especially when you see artists with bigger names like Dirty Robot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the person behind all this stuff. Did that play into you liking this in the first place? Like, were you familiar with him?
So I wasn't familiar with him before NFTs, but Dirty Robot launched a collection last year, maybe about this time, even late last year, called The Art of Seasons. And he's a pretty notable artist, I think, all things considered, in his own right before NFTs even. But that was kind of like your Genesis play. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the core elements of a blue chip project long term is, either reputable artist, or the art just has to be so standout that it speaks for itself or has that vibe like the apes. And I think Dirty Robot's got it with Renga for sure. And it took a little while. Sometimes these projects don't explode right away, but if it's legit, it'll be authentic. It'll work itself out.
Yeah, I remember seeing this for under an ETH for a while. There was a couple weeks at least, and we were talking about it, not sure what was going to happen.
Yep.
Kaizen, have you been looking into this at all?
Man, I'm a big fan of it, and I slept on it when it first minted, and really, it went over 1 ETH, and I told myself, hey, I felt like it was going to pull back, and I was tracking it, I was watching it, and then I went out of town, and I had some ETH in a wallet, but I just didn't spend the time to track what was going on. When I came back, it was already 1.5 or getting close to 2. And I just didn't want to spend that much at that point. Like I wanted to catch it in that 1 range or maybe under that. But yeah, I think it's kind of past the point that I'm going to buy in, but I really do love the vibe of Dirty Robot. I like a lot of his other artwork more than some of this, than the PFP stuff. But I mean, it's all that same theme. It's dope. It's got like, a certain kind of edginess to it too that I really appreciate. So I think it's definitely some real degen shit in this project, and man, it's just been on a roll, man. Once you start seeing that, the timeline just filled with especially apes that are buying in, like that's just going to create so much FOMO and just keep the thing pumping.
It seems like a lot of the hype is driven by the people that are collecting it. Like I know OG or D Farmer is one of the big proponents of Renga. He's been talking about this nonstop, saying it's great. And yeah, I think that's what's giving a lot of people confidence in this collection in the first place. So Ty, you said you would sweep this one. Is that correct?
Gotta sweep it. I mean, it's doubled like 2 weeks in a row. So I'm not saying it's gonna double by next week or anything, but yeah, like Kaizen said, this thing just hasn't really like pulled back.
Yep.
And not to
Kaizen,
say
what about
won't,
you? Oh, wait,
but
yeah, sorry. Sorry to cut you off, Ty.
no, you're good. My bad. I'm just rambling, fam.
All good. Kaizen, it sounded like you were a little bit more hesitant at these prices, at least for your personal investing. Is that going to be how you're going to play it for sweep or sell? What you going to do?
I'm going to sell it, man. I mean, and really a lot of that is just macro stuff. Like I think 2.8 is great and people are going to take profits. I feel like in the next week, man, there's probably going to be something shiny that pops up that people are going to take their profit here and then FOMO into. That's not to say that they're not going to make another run, but I think they are due for a little bit of a pullback.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think they ran up to 3 a couple days ago, and then they were back down at 2, back up almost to 3 again. It's just been super volatile. I think it possibly could have topped out at 3 for at least the short term. So I'm going to sell these also. There's one guy that I follow that is my top signal indicator, and he bought into these yesterday. And yeah, I can't fade that. So I got to sell. I got to sell Renga just off that principle right there.
You've got your own personal Steve Aoki that you're tracking or what is it?
Exactly. Like this guy, he's up there with Steve Aoki and Ryan Carson. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to make that top 3, but this guy has broken into the top 3. So we'll check back in next week and see if this holds.
Dagger.
But yeah. Cool.
Ryan Carson got a tattoo of his mom's name or just says mom on his forearm. And I'm like sweating for his mom right now. Like I'm hoping that she's healthy, like nothing happens to her. That's like a fucking death knell for a lot of people. So God bless Ryan Carson's mom.
Did you see that one tweet with Jim or somebody changed their profile picture to Jim Cramer and then said, breaking news, Russia is not going to use nuclear weapons in the war.
Yeah.
I think that was Poor Dart that tweeted that. That thing was hilarious.
Yeah, man. I actually saw that a few minutes ago and thought it was real. So thank God it's not real.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we are all screwed.
Yeah, I saw something with like Ryan Carson and like some like one who worked at his fund or something. I don't know. But it was like it turned out to just be like this like story, like this like facetious, like apparently supposed to be entertaining story of how like Ryan Carson wasn't gonna pay this kid and then needed some feet pics.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
It looks so legit at first.
I thought it was super legit too, and then I was like, man, this is the lamest thing I've ever read in my life, and everybody who works here is associated with this tweet or idea is lame and should never be involved with social media ever again.
It's that bear market engagement.
It's that bear
market. That's how down bad people are. The things they'll tweet just to feel something. But hey, some people tweet things to feel something. Some people mint things to feel something. So on that note, our number
I just
2
buy
collection,
the top. I just buy the top, sell the bottom, and feel a lot of pain.
So are you playing it? Are you playing Kitaro World that way? Because if so, let me know where the top is.
Man, I don't know. I don't know too much about Kitaro World. It popped up in some of my alpha chats. I'm sure it was in yours over the last few days. and it seems like it's recently exploded. I'm looking at Kaizen for some input on this because he's got a bag. And for the purpose of the project, I am going to blindly sell
Wait,
these
hold up.
puppies.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All good. Kaizen, do you want to drop the alpha for us on Kitaro? What are we missing here?
Okay, so this, just like Ty said, like I was at my computer the other night, I think 2 nights ago, somebody popped it into the one of the alpha chat groups. And man, I'm either in a Degen mood or I'm not, and I just was for that reason. I clicked into it and just instantly I liked the artwork. And so I just was kind of watching the volume, and the floor just kept getting swept. Like you would just see 10 disappear, another 10 disappear, and it was still in like a 0.05 range. And I was like, okay, I like the art. It's moving. I clicked over to the website that you've got pulled up. It had all the good buzzwords, like talking about like toys and like plushies and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I started looking through the traits and I just vibed with it. I thought it was really like a solid collection. Just for whatever reason, I liked the art and just like all those other things just lined up. And I just started buying. And so I've got a bag of 10. So just a disclaimer, like I'm definitely biased on this thing, but I don't know, man. Like who knows what's a rug these days and what's not. But if they really are doing all the stuff that they're talking about, like this AR coloring book sounds fun. Who knows if that's actually going to happen or if it's going to be usable. But if they do this stuff, man, I could definitely see this going higher than whatever it is right now, 0.3 ETH floor.
This Kitaro ice cream looks pretty good. It reminds me of those SpongeBob ice creams that you get from the ice cream truck.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even see that. That's really funny. I just zipped right past that, but we'll see. Now, what do you guys think about the art? Do you guys like the art, or is it something that's just I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
Yo, hold up, because I don't see any Kitaro ice cream on the stream. So, Paper, are you presenting this or not?
Oh, did it not pull it up? It's on the Medium article. Let me go back. Scroll down.
Yeah, maybe the preview's not coming through on my end. Maybe I've got some sort of technical issue. Because Kaizen, it sounded like you saw it, right?
Yeah, I can see it. It looks
I just
good
see a
too.
number 2.
I think it might be an issue on your end. It's that overlay still with QQL.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it literally just, dude, I've been looking at 1s and 2s this whole time, and I feel like you've been queuing me and Kaizen up, bro.
Yeah, I think you might have to drop out and come back in. I don't know what's going on your end with the screen.
Facts. I will rug myself real quick while I'm peeping this art.
All good. We'll let you back in here. Don't worry.
But
yeah, I mean, I like the art.
Go over to like the highest last sell so we can kind of see the premium stuff that's in the collection. And I think that's given any project the benefit of the doubt. That's kind of how I like to judge the art, is by some of its best stuff. But
Ooh,
man,
so it's got unrevealed legendaries.
Yeah, and I was looking at buying one of those for 1 ETH, and I was just like, I couldn't get there, man. The floor was like 0.06, and I was like, man, how much of a risk do I want to take with this thing? So I'm proud of myself for not doing it. Even if it does explode, I would rather accumulate more lower cost things than take such a big risk. But I think there's 5 of them, 5 legendaries.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Damn, if you would have bought that for 1, I think that would be the lowest sale of any of the legendaries.
Yeah, I think they've been
insane.
It looks like they've been flipped. Yeah, it looks like they've been flipping up. So props to whoever took that chance, man, because they were still the floor was very low when those were starting to sell.
Yeah, that's true. Because if people are buying these for 3 and they're not legendaries, you're going to assume by this point, you take any of these, you're going to be able to sell it for more than 3, at least.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we got Ty back in here. Ty, can you see the screen now?
I'm live. I'm live, baby. Technical issues on my side have been addressed and resolved.
All right, this is the ice cream.
Yeah, that looks fire.
So do you like the art on these? I'm gonna assume yes, because you're big on the anime style stuff or the Japanese style stuff.
So yeah, I'm, again, to be honest, I missed the blow up, so I'm kind of just digging in for the most part right here. I will say it looks very well done. It's not totally my style from the PFP standpoint. I can definitely see how people can vibe with it, and I'm vibing with it more and more as the price continues to grow up per usual. But the what I like is almost like the grainy banner aesthetic and the website aesthetic. That also stands out to me in addition to just the art and the details on the PFPs.
I really like these like race jacket looking ones. To me,
Yeah, that's fire.
I like the art, but if it was from a well-known artist, I would feel more comfortable buying into it. And I think that's just because of the whole Renga and heads stuff has been my focus lately. And I think you can, like from a PFP standpoint, you can at least give some of the value to like attribute that to be from being created by a well-known artist. And I wish these had it going for it, but it's not not something that I would not buy a project for, if that makes any sense.
Facts. I'm just waiting for Renga to get to 50 so you can copy your PFP.
Yeah, it's on the way, that's for sure.
But, yeah, Paper, I do like that racing jacket, man. There's two of them. I almost bought one yesterday. So I bought 7 floor and then 3 kind of more kind of premium. And it's just so much fun, man, when you feel like a project is kind of pumping and it's not that expensive to just vibe and like look through traits and just find the thing that you want. And I probably spent at least an hour doing that, like just cycling through to see, oh, there's only 2 like cyborg eye gold ones, and like saying, okay, would I rather have this or that? And as I was doing that, man, shit was just disappearing. And so that was just more of a motivation. Like, hey, I'm on the right track. People are buying these up. But whatever, man, that's enough. You guys know I'm biased because I have some.
Right. But yeah, that does play into it a lot. And I think if you're going to be using that actual IP behind this stuff, then it's definitely worth trying to find something that fits in with what you're going to use it for. So if you want that racing persona, or you want to maybe get in, because they're building a whole comic series with this stuff. So if they do have a racing team in the comic series and you want your thing there, I feel like you got to start targeting those kind of traits. That's how I play these commercial rights games within these collections. It's just like, what are people going to use this for? And is the team that's running everything going to build something around like certain parts or certain traits in their collection? And then just try to figure out what it's going to be and try to find those. But yeah, I feel like we've talked about Kitaro for a decent amount of time. What are y'all thinking? Kaizen, we'll start with you.
Hey, you're muted, big guy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think they're gonna pump, man. I think I'm gonna ride until probably 1 ETH. I'm hoping to see 1 ETH, and I'll start to hopefully unload the rest. But I think they're gonna have a little run, man.
Cool. We'll mark you down for a sweep. I'll go second on this one. I'm really torn. I think this isn't something that I would personally buy, but I do think they will go up by the time we're talking with each other next week. So I'm gonna sweep.
Ty, all right, yeah, let's complete the unanimous decision here on the scorecard.
Boom.
Dang. I thought you guys were both gonna sell, but
I was gonna sell. I think I might have even let it slip before you convinced me that this is gonna pump.
Yeah, that's why I want to start like doing the full discussion first, because there's even been some times in the past where I am like, all right, just by the name and the current price, I'm gonna sell this. And then either Kaizen, you'll bring up a good point about it, or Ty, you'll bring up a good point, and then I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh man, I picked wrong for sure. I need to switch it.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I'm just working on my persuasive skills here.
I mean, it's paying off.
Yeah, we need the SpongeBob 1 week later graphic.
Oh, we do. I'm gonna have to put that in the show notes for next week. We'll end up having that be the transition. All right. So for number 3, we got Creature Chronicles. Oh my god, I can't even talk. The Atrivians. This is a Solana project. We are opening up Magic Eden for it. 1.98 floor price.
Oh god.
I don't know anything about these. Have y'all followed Creature Chronicles, the Atrivians at all?
No offense to anybody on the project. It's just a sole project that's not that's strike 1, strike 2. Like
just your basic soul project, said Kaizen.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the soul projects lack soul?
That's a good point.
That's a banger. Tweet that thing before someone's about to front run you if they're listening.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They can have it. I'll have to clip that from stream to claim my clout.
It does say it's from the mind of Marvel Studios visionary Anthony Francisco. No offense. It does feel like a little Fiverr. Like, no offense to whoever drew this, man, but it doesn't have soul, like Paper said.
No, not one bit. I thought this was a meme project trying to make fun of the Bored and Dangerous art reveal.
I was gonna say, like the Fiverr, the art style. Yeah. This kind of art style reminded me of that also.
Didn't it? I mean, this would be fudding them for sure. I mean, shout out to Degens. They're doing some good stuff. And for listening to the community. But good God, that artwork was trash that came out on the pre-reveal.
Yeah. Man, and I probably all of us, I didn't tweet anything about it. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Like, just kicking people when they're down. Like, it was just, man, what a misstep. That was unbelievable.
I mean, like, we've been in the space for a year. There's some big names on that project. How the hell are we all scratching our heads on that?
Man,
I've never seen a miss like that.
So it's Azerbala is what it's called, and it's not Thread Guy that's their director of vibes, is that right?
Yeah, not Thread Guy.
So I heard an interview with him like a month ago, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like this art is sick, like oh, you guys are gonna be blown away." And so it's just, I mean, of course, he's their director of vibes, he's gonna say that. Yeah. But oh man, that kind of ruins his credibility a little bit, and
a little bit, fam.
Yeah,
a little bit. I saw someone tweet the same thing, like, how does the director of vibes not vibe check the art?
Yeah, that was.
They were vibing too hard and had the wrong tab pulled up and didn't even realize.
And man, to me, this is what happens when you do art by consensus. Like when it's a big group of people. Like I think I've been in that corporate environment where, hey, like there's going to be 20 people working together to make the best plan that we can make. And when you do that, man, you get the worst possible outcome. Like you just have to give it to 1 or 2 people that you really trust. This just seems like something, whatever, art by committee. It doesn't work.
I agree. And just looking for the past 7 days, the average price of this is cut in half since the reveal of the art came out.
Oof.
So it's tough. A potential buy low opportunity, but I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. There's no financial advice we're saying in this entire episode. Do with this information what you will.
Yeah. You probably.
But it was nice to see that they are addressing it and going to make better graphics, but really don't know how that passed any of their checks. Well, I mean, it comes back to exactly what you said, Kaizen.
And that's just a guess. And man, I saw Degens is like talking to the community, trying to make it right. And somebody posted like the AI art that we've been seeing, kind of like real goblins, and there was a Moonbirds one, and somebody posted like an AI version of the Azerballans or whatever. And he was like, hey, nothing's off the table. We're just concerned about the IP, owning the IP if it's AI. And I'm like, man, like they're really starting from zero. Like they have nothing at this point. Like, God dang, what a mess.
Yeah, that's like I don't even know what to say about them. I don't like fudding them because I think it's a good project, but it definitely has raised some red flags.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. So
It just
moving
goes to
back to the
show.
Creature Chronicles.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of all on the same page on this one. I don't want to speak for y'all when I say this, but I feel like we're all going to sell these. So I'm going to lock in mine right there.
Yeah, lock it up. Sell for me.
Yeah, lock it up. This is a
sell.
blip on the radar. We're never going to see these guys again.
There we go. Watch this be one of those that we all sell and it ends up going to 20 soul next week.
Man,
that's usually what happens.
I'm good. I'm at peace with it. If that thing moons, like there's no way we could have seen that coming.
Facts. All right, so we got another Solana project coming on right after this. In the number 4 spot, we got Critters Cult. This was on last week. We saw it for the first time. The floor price was 19.99, and then that was last Monday. Today, it is 21.5.
No way.
So it's barely up. This was the one thing that was up last week. The single project that was in the top 10 that we looked at that is actually up. And it's down since I checked it. So but kind of pretty flat. But I don't think any of us are pretty well versed on the Solana projects. Like, do you guys pay attention to this at all?
No, and I'll start doing that just for the sake of the show. But yeah, I don't have any insight on this.
I remember we looked at it a little bit last week, and this was one of those that was following the story narrative. What were they calling it? Like
the storytelling NFTs?
Storytelling NFTs, yes. Literally right in front of me. And who knows how long that narrative is going to last. But I feel like people are talking about storytelling NFTs because of the whole Bored and Dangerous. You got RENGA that are doing really well. And then smaller projects are probably trying to just capitalize on that hype. And that's all I see out of Critters Cult. I think a lot of Solana projects are pretty notorious about just riding off of the waves of other people. So, yeah, just based on that, it doesn't really leave a good taste in my mouth for this thing.
And the storytelling NFTs meta that we're kind of going in, like I feel like it's been something that's been around since at least in the last year. Like there's always been projects that are trying to tell a story, and for some reason it just became a buzzword. And I don't know. Yeah, the floors will pump kind of based on that for a moment, but I feel like it's always been here. It always will be, but it's not really anything different than what most projects are already trying to do.
Yeah, like it's not like Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything under that Yuga umbrella. It's not like they're not storytelling NFTs. Like that's what got them to where they are in the first place, is because the story has been being told since day one. Even though they don't advertise.
You might not totally know what the story is, but they've been saying something.
Right. Like it all started out as just apes in that cabin, in the Bored Ape Yacht Club cabin. And then now we're learning about the other side. Now Kodas are being brought into the story, and 10KTF. Like there's a lot going on with storytelling that they're not being advertised or marketed as storytelling NFTs. But I think that's literally been the meta since day one. And I don't think calling your own project a storytelling NFT will give it any sort of advantage over the ones that have already been doing that. My own opinion.
I think that's legit. Yeah, I think that's a solid perspective.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be selling these. If you guys couldn't tell.
I'm gonna sell these too.
You're gonna have to change from tight sweeps to tight sells.
Yeah.
Kaizen.
Yeah, I'm selling. That's unanimous.
All right, cool. So we got the first 4 down. We're at halftime right now. Let's see. We got Poobs NFT in the number 5 spot. It's actually number 6, but we skipped the Lenaji name registrar. That's those .og names. If you want to learn more about those, join the Apewell Discord. I dropped some info on it in our general chat. You can go find it in there. But we're skipping that and going on to the Poobs. I've seen this pop up in the Degen chats that we're in also. I don't know. I haven't paid any attention to these. Have you guys?
I haven't paid attention to these and their rise to the trending on OpenSea, but they popped up in 2 different alpha chats that the same projects never pop up in on my side, and I feel like that's a good sign. That's probably why they are where they are. But I don't know too much about them, so I'm really not too sure. Do either of you know anything more than me?
All right. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, so I actually FOMO'd into this and did very little research, like a true Degen.
Love it.
I got 3, and they're really. I got in just a little bit under where they're at right now, and I just felt like they were going to get a little pop.
Yeah, they got that vibe. They got that like doodles, cute, simple, memeable vibe.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Definitely doodle style. It reminded me a little bit of like MFers too. Like
yeah.
And
They were like, how do we combine the top blue chip projects into one?
Yeah, I get a lot of Doodles vibes just from the rainbows and art style already. They got a game.
And there's a rap too that's on the website, which is kind of funny. It's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, these definitely got like doodle MFer vibes.
It's funny how Poobs came out with a game before Doodles did. Nobody's talking about that. All right, we're gonna have to put that one away. Otherwise, I'm gonna get way too distracted.
Kaizen, when did you FOMO in?
Yesterday. It was in the evening. It was later. Probably in Degen bets or whatever.
Oh, these are relatively new though.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at these an hour before we started, and the floor price was 0.07. Now it's 0.09, so they are trending up just from the past couple hours.
That Kitaro money flowing right into Degen number 2.
Yes, sir. And that's kind of what I'm worried about is that, I mean, we saw the Apes pump a couple weeks ago, pretty high, the 10.43 change, and then they were down. And I'm wondering if that money's trickling down right now. It's kind of, I don't know, kind of got me hesitant on some of this stuff, but a lot of these smaller projects are doing well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, that's basically all the info that we got on this. Kaizen, I want to start with you on this one since you already have them. Are you going to sweep them?
I'm going to counter trade myself here. I'm going to sell them. And in real life, I'm going to sell them too. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. I think that this is just your typical Degen thing that it's not going to have a whole lot of life, but I've got 3. I'm going to sell 2, probably whatever. Just watch the price action. If they start to really pull back, then I'm out. So sell.
Gotcha. I'm still torn on this one.
Yeah, this one is tough. Paper, you go first, fam.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to gather my thoughts for this one. I really don't see much downside to sweeping, which makes me just want to sweep. But I feel like this is probably going to be one of those plays where it pumps like if it does pump, I think it'll pump high in like a day or two and then be back down pretty close to where it is right now by this time next week. So I really don't think there's going to be a huge week to week difference on it, but I'm going to play the sweep. I think it might be like a 0.03 ETH win for me if it works, but you know what? I want to take that, so I'll sweep it.
Sweeping them. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, it's a tough one. It really could go either way. It's kind of a coin flip. I'm gonna sell these. I'm gonna try to just stick to my fundamentals here.
You got me questioning my own life right now, rethinking all my life decisions.
Hey, you can still flip it, man. There's no time limit on this.
Nah, we're locked in. We are locked in.
You're not the one that controls the Excel sheet, my friend.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. To keep it interesting, I'll keep the sweep there.
Keep the sweep.
It's a low risk play, right? Like it's 0.08 right now or 0.09. So
yeah, we'll go.
There's
you got to risk
less
it to get the
risk
biscuit
there than some of these others, Pape.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Like the worst that can happen is I lose 0.09 off my weekly P&L. So not too worried about that. But coming into the number 6 spot here, we got the Otherdeeds and Kaizen. Like I said earlier, last week we decided to change it from the Otherdeeds to Kodas specifically because Otherdeed price doesn't really change much because the supply is so big. So we wanted to go with something with a little bit smaller supply that it also plays a really key role in the ecosystem. So we're tracking the Kodas from now on. Floor price 13.27. Has there been any new news on the Kodas lately? I don't think I've heard anything.
No, I don't think so. I think the last thing was that trailer a few weeks ago.
That's the last thing I saw too.
There was a pretty significant land sweep a few weeks ago. I don't know if we actually spoke about it when we were cruising through the other sides or not. But I do know like a prominent ape, might have been a gold fur, spent like several hundred on several plots of land, several hundred ETH on each. So just talk about conviction, but I'm not sure. I feel like I learned a little bit about Kodas when I was trying to flip my mutant this past week. And Koda owners seem to think their Koda is more valuable than a mutant. That's my take on it. I think the market is pointing otherwise, and we're going to see Koda owners continue to paper hand their Koda deeds. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think if any Koda owner thinks their Koda is worth more than a mutant, at least at the current prices, it just seems like cope.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, and obviously the staking, like you're not a true member of the Bored Ape Yacht Club when it comes to the in real life events. You're not going to be able to stake. Like once the game comes out, they will have insane utility. I'm sure of that. But that's going to be a little while.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, I agree. Totally, 100%. Wanted to point out that this Otherdeed on the floor with the Koda 13.27, but it was bought 5 hours ago for 11.4.
Whoa.
So some people are selling into those WETH bids. Just pointing that out. So
that also has the chemical goo, which I believe is the mutant layer, right?
It is. Yes.
That's a solid.
It's a good eye right there. Yeah, that was a good buy from whoever got that. Whatever, Dr. Burry or somebody.
Dr. Burry. I do think that some of the potential volatility in the market and the question marks with some of the news and the announcements are going to cause maybe a temporary slump here in the market. I think we'll see some WETH bids accepted across collections. Wouldn't be surprised.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm still impressed with that snipe by that 13.27.
That's a
That's
snipe.
a hell of a pickup for 11 something.
I mean, the fact that it's still the thing on the floor probably speaks something to how much Kodas are actually worth. Because there's no reason the Koda with mutant land should be the floor Koda as compared to a regular one on non-mutant land. And I think this is a good transition into our decision time. So for me, I just think I'm going to have to sell based on that info.
Yeah, I'm selling too. I mean, if people are selling them for 11 right now, I mean, it's just a matter of time until that floor gets in that 10 range.
Now, the only thing that could maybe go in our favor leading up to staking is some sort of other side boost because of it, affiliated directly or not. I think it could happen. I'll play the game here, though. Even though everything I'm saying is I think these are going to go down over the course of the next week. But we'll sweep them. If you guys are both selling, I'll sweep.
All right. You got the
I'll
sweep
take this
locked
money.
in. Yeah, I mean,
Easy
sometimes
money.
that's the one thing is like nobody knows when these announcements are going to come. But as soon as other side drops something, Kodas, deeds, people are instantly going to start buying them, no matter what the floor price is. If any piece of news comes out, it just happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
you see a Coda on a trailer for the other side, price goes up.
big facts. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 collections down. Number 7 for the day is going to be I really want to look. It's the QQL Mint Passes. I'm trying to pull it up here. Sorry, my computer's being slow. I'm trying to. There we go. QQL Mint Pass. Floor price 16.2. Kaizen, I want to start with you on these because I know you've been looking into them recently and are thinking about getting one yourself. What's drawing you into this collection?
Yeah, I love the project. I think it's extremely innovative the way they did this. I love that Tyler Hobbs is involved. It's his algorithm. There's some epic ones that are, if you can pull up the ones that have actually been minted, there's one in particular that I think is unbelievable. It's a different collection just called QQL. Yep, 93 have been minted, and there's one, I think the guy's selling it for 500 ETH. And to me, it's just the best one. Gosh, man, I love Tyler Hobbs and everything that he's doing, and just would love to have a piece of his. So I'm very attracted to it. And the trade right now would be to sell a mutant and FOMO into this. So I'm really torn on that. I don't want to get burned because I am expecting a mutant pump, but man, this entry point, as it gets lower and lower, it becomes more enticing. Yeah, right there, number 27. I just think that's unbelievable.
I like that one a lot. This one, number 9, reminds me of the ocean.
Yep.
On starry nights. There's just some of these that ended up really cool. Like one of the people that won the Mint Pass with one of their submissions, it had like a mountain looking thing with like stars in the background, a whole environment that kind of just got generated. Oh, this one right here. QQL number good. 8. That was my favorite that I saw. I can't believe that was just randomly generated.
Whoa. Yo, number 80 right there. It's got crazy Fidenza vibes.
Where's 80?
Yeah.
I fuck with that. I like the minimalism right here. This one's trippy, number 88.
Yeah. That scene though, like, is legit too. That landscape scene for sure.
Yeah, it's a
That
really
one
cool
looks like a
collection.
potato. 816 right there. Look at a little potato with a couple spuds on it.
Wait, which number?
What is that? Is that 16 right
16.
there?
16. Yeah.
16.
Oh,
Ty's
yeah.
hungry, man. I know Ty hasn't had breakfast yet. He's seeing like migas and tacos, tortillas, all this stuff, man.
Oh,
Oh,
this one was
man.
really cool too. It had like a little frog / lizard something in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's nice.
little pay action.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so if I do it, if I make the play, I'm probably not going to risk my mutant for it. If I do it, I'm not going to mint anything. I'm just going to hold the mint pass. Like that would be the play. Like unless I came up with something really epic, and that would be fun, right? If you owned it, just to spend a lot of time, man, just keep re-rolling those outputs.
Yeah, the mint price or the mint pass seems like the smart play for this. There's only been one actual QQL that sold, and someone paper handed for 10.
Oof.
I don't think we're gonna see very many of those.
And I don't like that one. Like a lot of these I would not have minted. Like no offense to the people that made those choices, but compared to those really epic ones, like some of these just don't pass.
Yeah, they could do better. So, with the mint pass at 16.2, Kaizen, would you sweep or sell these? Because I know I feel like we're starting with you on all these, but as
No,
somebody
I'm
who's
good.
looking into actually making a purchase,
Yeah,
how
man.
does this number look for you?
Yeah, most of these I have pretty strong feelings about, and this one I do too. I'm gonna sweep it, but I think it's gonna keep pulling back, and I think by the time we come back, it's gonna be over this 16.2. But I think it's gonna dip down. It's gonna be really close to mint price at 14. So yeah, I'm watching it, man. Every morning I wake up, I'm looking at this price.
I'm also gonna sweep. If I had the money to do it, I would. I don't think it's worth risking a mutant either, but I think everything it has going for it, the fact that it's by Tyler, well, the thing that generates the algorithm, that's the word I'm looking for, by Tyler Hobbs, that definitely will have some value behind it. And just the fact that it's a curated series, so you're getting really good outputs that are getting minted. I think it'll have some good longevity. So I'm sweeping. How about you, Ty?
Yeah, I think you guys bring up a bunch of good points. Long term, I want to say it feels like a no-brainer, but this base is so unpredictable. But based on Tyler Hobbs's previous success, and the innovation that's going place here. Now, I guess I don't fully understand what this mint pass could be utilized for in the future. Maybe it's other drops. I don't know, Kaizen, if there's anything to speak on that point, but it attracts a different type of investor as well in the space. Like 16.2 is not your average degen flip. So the volume, but
Right. This floor piece is also getting paper handed right now. So it last sold for 19.35, and it's being
Damn,
sold for 16.2.
that hurts. And
I'm
yeah,
sweeping.
you're gonna
You
sweep
sweeping,
it.
Ty?
Yeah, I'm sweeping. Fidenza's minted at what? Like 0.3 or 3 Dutch auction started at or something?
I don't even know.
Man, it was. I think they sold for less than an ETH.
Yeah.
When minted. Yeah, I mean, and they're up. The floor's up to I think 96 ETH right now.
That's insane. Yeah, I just feel like anything Tyler Hobbs under 20 seems like a
Floor
good general number.
15.99. I'm gonna readjust that real quick.
Oh, yep.
Oh man.
Hey, we're all on the same page here, so we're all making some ETH.
Yep, our numbers are already going up if we're right.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're going to number 8. It's a project that we already talked about one time, so I think this will be a pretty quick one. But we are back to RENGA. The black boxes are number 8 right now.
Damn.
Yeah, so like I already know how we feel about RENGA, their actual PFP collection. Black box is basically, I mean, can we call this the Mint Pass for RENGA?
Yeah, I think so.
The
So it's
black
sitting-
box?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of like a vial than a mint pass. I feel like the if we're gonna get
Yeah.
Tau is probably your mint pass. Low key.
No, I agree. The vial is exactly how I described this one.
You know, not
So-
trying to get technical on you, Paper. I know you're running the show. Don't mute me. Don't kick me off. But that's just my take.
No, you're 100% right. I am in full agreement with you on that. And these are trading a little less than twice the RENGA floor, which is 5 ETH. That's no little amount of money right there. I think I'm gonna have to copy what I say on RENGA with the black boxes. I think this is probably a little bit riskier to continue selling also, but just to stay consistent with what I did up here, I'm gonna sell the black box. I just think we've had a good pump over the past week or two, and I can just see it pulling back short term, but I still think that the community is super strong in the long run. Ty, let's go with you next. You might be muted.
Oh, my bad.
There we go.
RENGA, like I said, I think they're continuing to creep up. I'm noticing that something here is priced wrong just based on how they've been trending with each other. That the black box should be closer to 6. So I'm sweeping.
Okay. I like that. Kaizen, how are you feeling about the black box?
Hey, that's tough. I feel pretty strongly that RENGA is going to pull back, but these black box, the vials, whatever we want to call them, man, I think that they can keep running even if the RENGA floor goes down, just because people like to degen and trying to pull rare. So I'm going to buy these. I think it's going to be close though. I don't know that it's going to like go through the roof, but I think it'll be higher than this.
Way to hedge your bet, my guy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I honestly I can't
101.
hate it because it does make a lot of sense logically. People are going to want to hold on to these for longer. There's going to be the degen gamblers who want to see if they can pull the rare to get that big win. Yeah, so I feel like people will paper hand these less than some other things. You got me rethinking my own choice again here. I'm going to refresh
The other example, of course, is the serums from Bored Apes. And man, I think I saw M1 serum sell for 40 just the other day.
It did, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Like with the 15th floor to pay.
I'm switching
Yeah.
teams.
Almost 2.5 times what the floor price is. Like, and you know what you're getting already, right? When you're doing the mutant, like you're not even doing that with the hopes of pulling like a gold. Like, you know what you're getting, and it'd be interesting to see what that guy had for a Bored Ape that he was wanting, if he was going to mutate it or just speculating on that even going higher.
Totally. Cool. So we're all on the same page with these again. It's been pretty consistent today. There's a few small differences, but it seems like we're in agreement on most of these. Too. There's some what?
I'm just cruising RENGA right now, and there's some nice pieces on the floor.
Are you thinking about getting into RENGA, like the buying back in? I mean,
perhaps we'll see.
Yeah, I think short-term
It
price
gets
action.
more attractive as that price goes up, you know?
Totally. I hate how that works in our minds.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's part of the trading game. Anyway, moving on to collection number 9 today. We got Bored Ape Yacht Club sitting at 79.85. We are down from where we were last week. Last week, apes were at 83.43, and they're down about 3.5 ETH since then. So not huge for something that's floor priced that high. Kind of like the other side, I haven't seen any new things coming on, like any new news with the apes. I know we have ape staking coming up soon to get more ape coin, but that's all that I know is slated for the future. And that's at the end of this month. Have you guys heard anything different? Or are you guys, I don't know, how are you feeling about apes short term? I know we've been making moves lately.
Yeah, I feel like it's still going to pull back. Like I'm surprised it pulled back as much as it did from last week. I wasn't here to see that. Damn, that's a big pullback in a week, right? Or is that kind of standard with what we've seen in the last few
I
episodes?
don't know.
I don't think it's that big.
I think we had a little run up though, like a little bit more than normal.
Okay, yeah, 10 ETH jump from week to week. That's crazy.
Yeah, the 10 ETH was the big one. 3 seems kind of average for us now. I'm trying to look through a few of these other ones. 11. Yeah, so it can be big. It'll either move 10 or it'll move 3, or it'll not move.
84. Wow.
So let's see. Every Monday it's fluctuating. Usually a few, but it seems like mid 70s seems to be the average. So right now we're at 79.85. Yeah, not really any news to talk about, so I guess we can go into the decision time. I'll get us started here. I think people aren't going to want to sell their apes moving into staking. I think we might see a price run up. So just off that, I'm gonna sweep these, take a little risk here. But I feel like owning Yuga assets is a pretty safe thing. So I think people will look to turn some of these profits or flip some of these profits into different Yuga collections like the apes. So yeah, I'm gonna sweep.
I think that makes sense. I'm going to go with the opposite move, though. I think we're going to go a little bit. Maybe this is the last week that we'll like retrace a little bit before we start getting that staking pump. But just playing the game, I think we both have the same thesis. Like we both feel like it's going to pump, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer.
Totally.
Yeah.
Ty, you're the tiebreaker here.
The tiebreaker.
New nickname.
Let's go. I'll switch it up on Twitter after the show. I think you guys are both right. But for where we are at this point in time, Kaizen's perspective, I share a lot of those same viewpoints. So I'm gonna sell.
Totally understand where you're coming from. All right, that's the end of the ETH projects for the day. Our number 10, we got the Utes Mint Tubes. So there's still a lot of consistencies with the projects we're looking at being mint tubes or mint vials or mint passes. These seem to be doing well right now. Utes Mint Tubes floor price is 132 SOL. Get that updated right there. I know we looked at this in the past. Let's see if I can find it. Utes Mint Tube was, let's see, 3 weeks ago, Utes Mint Tube was 135 SOL. A week later, it bounced down to 120. So it's still pretty consistent over the past month or so. I don't know if that'll impact what y'all think about this, but is anybody still paying attention to Utes? Ty, we can start with you because I think you were a little bit doing stuff with Utes Yacht Club. I don't know if you looked into the Utes at all. Did you?
To be honest, I did more research on the derivative than I did the real project, like a true degen. I don't know much about Utes, but it seems like the youth don't care about the Utes like they used to. So I'm selling. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say it so quickly, but
You're good.
that's what I'm doing. I think the hype has worn down a little bit. Everything else is going down. I still like Frank. Frank's a great person for the space. The space is better because we have Frank, D-Gods, and Utes. But it almost seems like there's actually no plan for Utes. And I don't think the team knows when reveal is. I think the team is flying by the seat of their pants and they're doing a hell of a job, but they got to get their shit together a little bit. And the Utes proved that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know these things hadn't revealed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we got right now is all the tubes.
I think I'll probably. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to add to that. Do you, Kaizen?
No, I totally agree with the analysis from Ty. Like, I like Frank, but man, like these reveals are pretty important, man. So I'm gonna sell it.
All right, so we got a Kaizen sell, a Ty sell. I'm also gonna sell. I agree with everything Ty said. But yeah, not for me. Not for me on the Utes. I think to play devil's advocate, maybe they'll wait for some of these pumps on the ETH chain to die down and then wait for a rotation back to Sol and then be like, all right, reveal's coming, and then use that pump as exit liquidity. That's what I would be looking for if I was in that community, but I'm not, so I'm selling. And that's going to be
unanimous.
That's going to round out Sweeper Sell for the day. I'm excited to see what we got for next week.
I'm surprised we didn't see the 999 Club. That's been one that's been on our radar for at least the last month.
Yeah, let's check it out. I know that was down a little bit compared to last week. So last week we started out at 39.1 and then it ended up at 36.2. So down a little, like almost 3 ETH down, which is kind of surprising.
No volume.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think there's a lack of buyers. I just think there's a lack of buyers at these prices.
Yeah,
that's legit.
That's crazy.
I mean, I guess this is where we need to go to figure out what the true floor price of these should be. I can't even find the regular 999 Club anymore.
If you just search 999, it should just pop up right there. Yeah.
That's how little volume this thing has had since whenever. It's not even showing up in the top 5 on ENS Vision anymore.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah. But hey, maybe these things did top out for at least for short term. I will say
possible.
I saw a really cool take from Daniel Got Hits. Shout out to him. He was saying that people, like, one of the reasons to collect these is because it can be used as your identity, but you're not locked into a certain profile picture. Like if I have a Bored Ape, I can't switch my ape up because then the apes no longer recognize me as an ape. But you can always rock, like say I own 823.eth. You can rock 823.eth as your name, switch up to any other profile picture, and you still have access to these two communities at the same time instead of just being limited to whatever your profile picture is. I think that's a really cool way of describing the value that these 999 Club domains have.
Totally. That's valid. And a good take. I saw something similar, and everybody likes to flex their full set on Friday of whatever project it might be, but that these ENS domains might be like a combo to a full set, right? So if you've got 812 for instance, and the dogs and the mutants and everything. Well, now if you've got A12.eth to go along with it, you're super in business.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, obviously there's a lot more 4 digits, but yeah, if you have that low serial number with an ape or a crypto punk, and you have this, like that's the biggest flex that you can have.
Definitely agree. Like if I had those funds to get 812 to match with some other stuff, I would easily be doing that. But I think a lot of people are just priced out of it right now. And that's kind of what's making it so lucrative though. So in the past week, there's only been 4 sells of the 999 club. But I think it's probably a good sign to see that it's not going for floor. There's one that got an offer accepted under floor for 33.94. But the other sales were 46.8, 40.8, 46.69. So I think I still wouldn't be worried if I had a 999 club. But
No.
yeah. Cool. Well, gentlemen, is there anything else that y'all wanted about any other projects that were catching your eye before we sign off of this year?
No, that's everything.
Yeah, nothing on my side. I'm pretty good. Yeah, everything was really in the top 10. I got to dig back in after taking the weekend off or working all weekend, really.
Yeah, I think I feel you. I'm going to be excited to watch RENGA and see what happens there. I think that's just center of everybody's attention right now. And I think our sweeper cell is going to come down a lot to how RENGA does over this next week. But
yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Paper, I appreciate you hosting as always. For real. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Appreciated.
Great to be back. Yeah, thanks, guys. I look forward to this every week.
Yep, thanks y'all for joining. Thanks to everybody for joining us today. We stream this every Monday at noon Central on Twitch and YouTube. Be sure to tune in next week to see how we did, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. If you want to join our community, visit apewell.com. And that's all I got for today. So I hope you all have a great